Thanksgiving morning felt colder than usual, though the sun streamed through the windows. My parents' words from yesterday still lingered, sharper than any chill. "We're doing Thanksgiving without you." It wasn't unexpected. After years of being overlooked, of my ideas dismissed, and accomplishments minimized, I had learned not to be shocked. I didn't feel the sting they hoped for. Instead, a quiet, almost eerie calm settled in me, a recognition that I wasn't going to beg for a seat at a table where my presence was treated as optional. I moved through the house slowly, noting every detail of their preparation. The pumpkin pie cooling on the counter, the neatly folded napkins, the faint smell of roasted turkey, the tiny decorations they had put up just to display tradition. Each item was a reminder of their performance, a ritual meant to show gratitude while ignoring the fractures beneath. My brother flitted about, pretending to care, busying himself with tasks he didn't really understand, as if being handed attention had made him the embodiment of family loyalty. I didn't speak. I didn't argue. I simply gathered what mattered to me. My laptop, a journal filled with personal thoughts, a few photos from trips I'd taken alone, proof that I could live fully without validation from them. Their laughter drifted from the living room, light and oblivious, unaware that I was quietly watching, cataloging every slight, every subtle dismissal. For the first time, I realized I didn't need to react immediately, didn't need to confront or beg. The anger that would normally have flared was replaced by something colder, more deliberate. I could let them enjoy their perfect Thanksgiving, or I could decide how this exclusion would finally matter. Not to them, but to me. Something inside shifted, a quiet promise that this time I wouldn't remain invisible. The day stretched ahead, filled with smells, sounds, and laughter that weren't mine, yet I moved through it with a strange freedom. I knew I had a choice: endure silently as before, or let the night reveal a consequence they would never anticipate. I spent the day pretending to be elsewhere, even though I never left the house. Every laugh, every comment, every boast about my brother's achievements reached me, but I didn't respond. I watched from the shadows of my own living space as my parents fussed over the turkey, their hands busy, but their minds elsewhere, their eyes darting occasionally toward the empty chair they thought I would have filled. My brother paraded around with his new phone, taking pictures and posting updates, as if the world needed to see their perfect family moment. I noticed the cracks they didn't. The way my father's voice faltered when he mentioned my name in passing, trying to disguise guilt as pride. The way my mother forced a laugh at something trivial, the tension in her shoulders betraying that she knew this wasn't just another ordinary day. I realized how many small, quiet manipulations had gone unnoticed for years, subtle ways they had controlled my participation in the family, shaping perception and expectation to fit their narrative. I remembered all the moments I'd been praised for obedience but ignored for independence, all the times I had been silenced under the guise of care. As the evening approached, the pressure inside me built. I didn't need them to apologize. I didn't need acknowledgement. What I needed was recognition of the power I had ignored in myself. I went to the kitchen while no one was looking and unplugged the oven, not out of malice, but to interrupt the seamless picture they were so desperate to create. The turkey would remain raw, the pie untouched, the napkins perfectly folded but meaningless. I moved carefully, ensuring nothing could trace back to me immediately, giving me the satisfaction of quiet observation as their perfect scene began to unravel. I returned to my room and watched through the cracked door. My father cursed softly under his breath when he noticed the oven cold, my mother's hand trembling slightly as she realized the pie wouldn't set properly. My brother looked around, confused, unsure why the celebration wasn't going as rehearsed. Their panic was subtle, restrained, yet undeniably real. I didn't intervene, didn't explain, didn't reveal myself. I just let them discover the consequences of overlooking me. Hours passed. Their arguments were muted, faces tight with frustration, voices clipped, rehearsed smiles faltering. Each sound was a testament to the tension they had created by ignoring me, and for the first time, I felt the satisfaction of silent power. No confrontation, no shouting, only observation. I didn't need to speak. The night was doing it for me. By the time darkness settled outside, I had everything ready for my final move. I packed a small suitcase with what I had brought for myself that day, the journal, the laptop, the photos, and placed it by the door. My parents had no idea I was leaving. This wasn't just a departure. It was a statement. One last observation, one last quiet demonstration that I existed on my own terms beyond the control of a family that had repeatedly overlooked me. As I walked past the living room, the smells of ruined dinner lingering in the air, the tension palpable in every corner, I felt a strange peace. They had thought this day would be about exclusion. Instead, it became a revelation. I wasn't angry. I wasn't bitter. I was free. And tomorrow, they would realize exactly what they had missed. That night, I closed the front door behind me, the sound, final, deliberate, outside. The cold air bit at my skin, but it felt freeing, like a severing of years spent overlooked. Inside, my parents scrambled, trying to salvage a Thanksgiving they had meticulously planned, only to watch it collapse piece by piece. The turkey was raw, the pie unfinished, the napkins perfectly folded but meaningless. Their carefully curated image of perfection had fractured, and they had no idea why. The next morning, the absence became undeniable. My room was empty, my chair vacant, my presence erased, but their awareness of it was sharp. My father's composed expression faltered, as he realized I wasn't there to be counted, to be praised, to be managed. My mother moved quietly through the house, touching objects I had left behind, sensing the emptiness of years she had ignored. My brother, who had expected to be the center, looked around in confusion, the spotlight suddenly gone. I didn't call. I didn't announce myself. I simply existed outside their control, living life on my terms. Sitting with my laptop that night, scrolling through photos of trips, small victories, moments I had built without their permission, I felt a quiet power. The anger that could have consumed me had been replaced with clarity. They had tried to diminish me by exclusion, but it had only highlighted my independence and strength. Weeks passed. Their hesitant attempts to reach me were awkward, heavy with the realization that their old dynamics no longer worked. Invitations came, tentative and strained, but I didn't return to their narrative. My presence would no longer be a convenience, a token, or a tool for their pride. Ironically, the day they tried to erase me, I claimed my freedom. The night they thought they had the upper hand, I quietly held the power. This wasn't revenge, it was self-recognition. They would remember this Thanksgiving, not for any confrontation, but because my absence spoke louder than any argument. For the first time, I felt entirely seen, entirely present, and entirely free. My life belonged to me, not their expectations, not their judgments, not their fragile illusions. And that knowledge was more satisfying than any holiday could ever be,